我们上午经过3个多小时的比赛以后，进入了第二轮。好，那第二轮就准备要开始，我们一样请我的教练是 Ray 来为我们解说第二轮这一盘。
我们第二轮比赛，请握手。黑色按钟，比赛开始。
Has to win in order to equal the score. So e4, e6, d4, d5. Okay. The French defense is played. So I'm personally happy to get this as well, I'm French, so obviously French defense suits me. E4, e6, yeah, so d5. Okay, expecting something from white. Okay, bishop d3 has been played. Okay, so some words about the French defense. Yeah, okay, in some ways it's close to what we got in the first game, like compared to some queens gambit declined, in that in the first few moves tell us that the bishop on c8 will need to find some way to get into the game. So obviously there are many different moves for white in this moment. The knight c3 is main move. You just develop your pieces on its natural square, protecting e4 pawn. Another good move is e5. Okay, you just gain space and still telling that those pawns won't move and this bishop so will have problems to develop. Also, it takes away the square of the knight on f6. Okay, one less logical move would be to exchange on d5, because then of course black would take and then what? Okay, it removes your problems. Okay, in the game she chose bishop d3. Okay, interesting line. D takes e4, bishop takes e4, knight f6, attacking the bishop while developing, bishop f3, c5, and knight e2. Okay, as far as I can see, this is the position. So a lot of moves have been played quite quickly, so we can guess it's part of preparation or something that at least the players know about. I would say it's a sideline for sure, because it's not the most common way to protect with the bishop. Oh, play bishop e7 to defend. Well, this bishop d3 line to defend with the bishop is not the most common, definitely. Yeah, because usually in the opening you will think like the second world champion said, Emmanuel Lasker. He said like, first you develop your knights and then your bishops. He wanted to simplify everything, like just knights first and bishops. The logic is that knights, usually you know the best squares, like for black, for example, it's of course here and here. For the other one, yeah, for white, knights like to be to the center, close to the center, so those squares are easy to find. Bishops, usually they have more options. So, okay, of course it's oversimplifying the thing, but yeah, so bishop d3 is not so popular, but still interesting. Bishop d3, so you take on e4. You take on e4, bishop takes, and knight f6, gaining a tempo on the bishop. Bishop f3, okay. Actually, the bishop could have dropped to d3 as well, with the little trap that the pawn is not to be taken because of the discovered check on b5, okay. And suddenly you find yourself with the queen lost, okay. But bishop f3 is quite logical. I mean, you just keep it alongside a long diagonal, so of course, a very good move. c5, typical counter by black in the French defense and many similar type of openings. The logic is just that you want to get rid of this central pawn. You know, so you want to exchange a wing pawn, side pawn for a center pawn, and then you will acquire an advantage in the center with your only pawn in the center. So yeah, as well as gaining some space. Of course, white don't take on c5 because then queen exchange and then you cannot castle anymore. So knight e2 is very logical. You just keep developing your pieces and protecting the d4 pawn. Okay, so far so good. Bishop e7 also. Why not? And now castles, just very natural. Okay, castle each side. Okay. So now the point is, how is white going to develop the rest of the pieces? Obvious moves are knight c3, of course. Just develop your knight. If you want to force something in the center, then bishop e3 is an option. You just put the bishop here and you try to force something. You remember about the tension between pawns in the early game. So here we have another one. And yeah, bishop e3 kind of says like, do something about this, because if you don't, then I'm threatening to take it, and now it's protected. And if you take it, then I can take with my knight, for example, and I gain a very nice central knight. You know, it's just two bishops. So it means that there's some pressure on the queen side for black. Like cannot develop like the knight to its normal square because already it can be taken. So yeah, trying to force something from white's perspective. Usually in this position you have to be careful about knight d5. Knight d4 is not possible here because of the bishop, but knight d5 and trying to take the e3 bishop. Okay, knight c3 is a move. c4 has been played is another move. It's quite logical too. Yeah, just gaining space. Potentially creating the threat of, it's not a threat yet, I would say, but it's potentially creating the idea of advancing the d pawn, which would result in a passed pawn. Yeah, this d pawn after, if you manage to put it here, yeah, it's a passed pawn. Even exchange, you just take, and it has no opponent, no black pawn ahead of him. So, or you just say that if those pawns are exchanged, then you will just stay with the majority here, pawn majority, for example. Okay, black is not doesn't have to take, but okay, why not? Here, or with the queen, I don't, but with the knight, then at least you prevent this developing move. And you just say that, okay, you have a pawn majority here, 3 against 2. So, okay, the pawns are not like close to queening yet, but still, the plan is to push them. So maybe something like a a3, b4, you know, and just pushing them slowly but surely, and while pushing them you will gain some, you will control more and more squares. So this is a typical plan for white in this position, just gaining space thanks to the pawn majority. Yeah, another point of course of c4 is that it takes away this square from the knight. So overall a very good move. So now it's up to black to decide what to do. So first she needs to see if d5 is annoying to her. Okay, so she just answered my question. She just played knight c6. So she doesn't care about d5. I think it's a good idea not to care. She has every reason to do so. Because I think after d5 you get the square e5 for the, oh sorry, for the knight. So okay, it just keeps on developing the pieces. Okay, bishop e3, yeah. Yeah, like I said, like d5 is not so attractive because you get this squares for your knight, and then the bishop on f3 is suddenly misplaced. So bishop e3, it's just about keeping the tension again. Yeah, developing, defending, and creating some threats. Yeah. So, okay. So far, so good. Everything logical. I don't know if the players still know the position or just play like good moves. Okay, so series changes. Mhm. Okay, so obviously knight takes d4 will come. I think, yeah, for player with the black pieces, she doesn't necessarily look for complications in this game. She just won the first one, so the draw is fine with her. Knight takes, obviously, you don't want to get rid of the bishop pair. You don't want to give your bishop. The bishop pair is still very important. With the center open like this, so which means that there's almost no pawn on the center, then of course the bishop pair is a strong asset. Yeah, the more blocked the position is, the center is mainly, the less the influence of the bishop will be. But here the pair of bishops is very important. And you see still, as the previous game, this bishop c8 still needs to find some job. Cannot develop so far. Yeah, for example, knight e5, I think it's a very good move because if you just take, then okay, maybe I might even take like this. But even let's say take, and it's not so easy. Or let's give an example. You can take with the bishop also, of course. Still have some pressure on the queen side, you know. Those bishops, they're looking at these pawns, and it's not so easy to move. Obviously, you don't need to exchange queens. You can play this, but the pressure is the same. So, 95 is a nice way of trying to get rid of this one, which is the more annoying piece. Attacking this one in the meantime. So, yeah, looks like a decent move, good move. Okay, so bishop e2 was played. Okay, so white wants to keep the bishop pair and at the same time protecting the pawn. Looks fairly logical. But okay, then the bishop is less active here. So okay, black will gain enough time to develop the queen side. And if so, we'll have no problems. Yeah, what to do? Well, the moves which come to mind are just bishop d7, simply, or queen c7. As always, we'll look for the forcing move. Yeah, we'll look first at the forcing move, queen c7, just because it attacks this pawn. No? So creates a threat. And the idea is that after you will bring the rook to d8, which will be an annoying pin on the knight. So why not? For example, if you just protect this, okay, the knight is not like most active place for the knight, then maybe rook d8. And I don't see why white would be like better or anything. I think black is perfectly fine here. Oh, she plays b6. Okay, so she wants to solve the problem of the bishop in this way. She just needs to be careful, though, about the softening of this, weakening of this square. So immediately I want to remove this knight to to make this knight c6 move. So first thing which come to mind is f4. Yeah, you just want this is weak. I would like to make create a fork here. Oh, sorry, to create a fork on c6. So okay, I just want to attack the knight. So where does the knight go? Yeah, I think okay, knight. Well, here or here. There are not so many squares. Let's go here for a start, because at least it protects this bishop. And now you have choice. You can go here, or you can go back with the bishop and harassing the rook. This looks very annoying. Hmm. Yeah, one bishop f3 looks very annoying. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just very annoying for black, this position, because what do you do with the rook? You just need to sacrifice. You need to sacrifice the exchange with moving the bishop here, for example. It's already like complicated. So f4 looks like a very strong candidate move to me. Oh, the knight d7 doesn't improve things because, well, still knight c6 or bishop f3. The same problems, like this rook is hanging and this square is very weak. Okay. Oh, okay. She played h3. Oh, then h3 is too soft. And why h3? Because f4, the knight couldn't go to g4 anyway because the square is protected. Okay, so now after h3, bishop b7, it looks like black is in time now. The bishop is here. So okay, white missed the chance to put pressure, strong pressure on black's position here. It seems to me, yeah. Or I don't see what to do. So yeah, suddenly everything is in order now for black. The bishop is very well placed on the long diagonal, and yeah, development is almost finished. Next, there will come a move which will attack this one. Might be rook c8, might be queen c7. I don't know. Put some pressure. Yeah. Yeah, I think white played too quickly here, or I don't know. It's in this moment you should sense that something is not correct with b6. I mean, the idea is good. Want to solve the problem of this bishop, but yeah, immediately you are attracted, like, oh, I want my knight here, or oh, suddenly the rook is here. I just have one move to take advantage of this before the bishop will go. But is it possible to take advantage of this? Which piece? There's only one piece which prevents me from putting my bishop here and harassing the rook, and putting my knight here and forking knight. It's this knight. It's only this one. So okay. I just need to remove it. Do I have a good way? Yeah. It has to move after this one, and then suddenly the two moves, bishop f3 and knight c6, are coming with strong effects, it seems. So yeah, always look for your opponent plays a move. Of course, you need to understand the idea behind this move. I mean, almost always the opponent will have an idea, good or bad. It is always an idea, and after to find the downside, the problems of the move. Like, yeah, there's always some good points and some bad points about the move. So b6, yeah. If you ask what's the bad point, the good point is that prepares the development of the bishop. Bad point is that weakens the square c6 and the position of the rook. Oh, so some moves played. So, h3, bishop b7, and yeah, knight c3. Okay, just development. Okay. So question is, can I take advantage of this? Want to attack this pawn if possible. Oh, they're playing quick. Okay, rook c8. Attacking this one. Why not? Looks like a decent choice. Obviously, you just bring your rook into play. You just threaten something on c4. No problem with that. Now, if you're white, you should find a way to protect. So I can see some moves. The queen can protect it, or the pawn can protect it. Yeah, queen b3 is a move. Well, on principle, I don't like b3, but maybe it's okay. I don't know. But it's just like now the knights on c3 looks a little bit loose. So, but maybe there's nothing concrete. Yeah, just impression. So maybe b3 is totally possible. Now I don't see a way to take advantage of the knight. So after you can, yeah, the problem is maybe rook c1, which would be desirable because you would protect the knight. But there's always some bishop a3 coming. Yeah, if later you want to follow up with this move, then you will always have to take into account the bishop moving here. So not so comfortable. Okay, she plays b3. I would say maybe queen b3, just to keep this protection. But okay, b3 is, I guess, possible still. Yeah, so now immediately your eyes should be on this knight, yeah, and try to exploit it. And the downside, of course, it's weakening the bunch of black squares on the queen side. So that's the defects of the move. Whether you can exploit it or not, I don't know, but that's what you should try to do. So okay, bishop b4 is a move. I don't know how efficient is this, because now for black, if you cannot find a direct way of exploiting this the weakened dark squares, well, the question is how you develop the pieces. To me now, the problem piece for black, just last problem piece for black to develop, is the queen. You don't know exactly where to put it. There's no like obviously safe square, you know. Yeah, so I don't know. You would like to put it on c7 to get the to get the rook to d8. Obviously, you want the rook here, you know, and exert pressure on the d file. So one way to develop the queen is to make it queen c7. You just need to check. There's no knight b5 coming, but doesn't look so dangerous. The queen can always drop back here to b8. Or an idea is to play bishop b4 to have the square e7 for the queen. Yeah, so to me it's the two options that you can have. It's just a slight problem, like the black needs to fix now. Yeah, you should check, like if on queen c7 there are some, okay, knight d5 or bishop f4 coming, you know, some use of the position of the queen. If that's okay, then queen c7 is fine. Otherwise, maybe try bishop b4 and queen e7. Because you really want your rook here. And by the way, I think the white queen may have the same problem coming, you know, because I don't see any particularly good square for it also. I mean, if it goes on, you cannot stay on the d file if black can put a rook. On the c file there's a rook, you know, so not so easy. Oh, she played bishop d6. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, so she wants to solve it. She wants to play queen e7. Okay, so she prefers the square e7. Uh, okay. Looks all right, because if you just play knight b5, then bishop b8, no problem. Should be okay. Again, I think she's not like against the simplifying the position, although it may be what white needs to do, but yeah, just hard to do when you need a win. Position is about equal. I would say, okay, if anyone is slightly better, maybe white, but I'm not sure really. Like it's anything. Okay, it's about equal, probably. So yeah, first I said maybe it's white better because usually you will value this majority on the queen side more than the other one simply because you can push it more easily. Here there's a king. Your king is behind, so you cannot just simply push the pawns. It's harder to make. Yeah. Whether on the queen side it's still, I mean, it's a little bit easier. Yeah, but okay, it's just a small. If there is an edge, it's a very small edge for white. The question is what to play otherwise if you are white. If you are white and you don't want to play this move and because you don't want to exchange queens and you feel like then your winning chances will reduce, then what to do? Again, this queen doesn't have a good square. At least I cannot see any. Because if you just play a move like this, there will be many problems. Like, the rook will come and annoy you. There's some bishop here to pin the knight, and the knight can jump to here. This queen is not well placed here for sure. On the c file, well, it's just opposite. Here it is just a rook, so on principle you will think twice before doing this. And where else? I don't know. Here is no square, obviously. You just block the rook and bishop b4 still available. So this piece is such a problem to develop. To find a decent square for that. Maybe you just think about exchanging it. When one of your pieces causes you problems, then exchange it. That's all. Even if it's queens, because the resulting will not be. It's not an ending. It's just a middle game position without queens. Yeah, there's only queens missing, so still a lot to play for. Yeah, f4. I think it's a little bit risky, but let's see what is. F4 is possible maybe, but the knight has two good square g6 and c6. But I feel like it's also weakening, so very double-edged, the weakening. Okay, so she played knight c b5. Okay, so she doesn't want to exchange the queens. Yeah. Okay, I can understand. And bishop b8. Yeah. Yeah. But now the problem is how do you continue with white? Because I don't know what's your knight doing here now. Yeah, I don't know what's the what's the knight doing here. How do you justify that you put the knight here? The bishop has found a good square. Both bishops, they are fine, looking in a good direction. And yeah, now I think black solved her problem of development. Like the queen will come here and the rook will come here and everything. All her pieces are fine. But white still has this problem of queen, knight, and also those rooks, because yeah, it's like I told you before, like the queen is badly placed, so it means the rook has problems. It's just not just one piece is bad. One piece is bad, it's just this piece. If one piece is bad, then the whole group has problems. It's like a domino, like a dominoes, like you just one is dropping, then the others will drop soon. So yeah, now she needs to figure out with white how to continue. Of course, the only move which would make sense is to go f4, like to continue on the attack, like kind of knight b5 is a active move. You just attack something. So you just follow it up with some lame move, I don't know, like rook c1 or something. Then okay, black will not have any problems at all. So you should check f4 first. Move which makes sense. Although it's very, very committing also. It's weakening. So once you start playing for f4, f5, you send your f pawn to the attack, then yeah, you might get it might backfire. So okay, but maybe this is what she prefers to do when she needs to win. So I don't know. Let's say knight g6. Then what? Yeah, let's see f5. Okay, let's always look at the most direct way first. Yeah. At least if black takes, then you can take with the knight, and okay, you have some squares now. Both knights can look here. So this knight is well placed to closer to the king. This one can drop back here also, as well as here. Okay, so now at least black has active knights, active play. Of course, its position is not better for white, but okay, some activity. Yeah, so maybe f5 and maybe black can push the pawn on e5. It's a very committing. But then, okay, you can create some mess, maybe. This. I don't know, something like this. Knight takes, or I don't know. In any case, you take it back, the pawn here, and at least, yeah, both castling have been weakened. And, sometimes in this type of position, it's good also to just play king h8. In this circumstance, I think knight you can take back with the knight, but sometimes it's a common strategy to just not take the pawn, because then it's arguing that it's your best defender. Actually, the white pieces cannot take it, so it's just a very good shield. But okay, also f5 you can just. Oh, I think she played it. I was about to say that f5 you can just move your knight over here or here maybe. Okay, at least it would have been very complex position, yeah, because black needs to calculate to be precise, and the more you are demanding accuracy from your opponent, the more likely to make her, to push her into making mistakes. So okay, rook e1, but rook e1, if I see, yeah, well, rook e1. Yeah, I think it's not active enough to bother black. Now I think black is probably has advantage, because I don't understand really the point of rook e1 actually, because okay, the rook is There are two bishops in front, so. And there's the problem of this knight. What is he doing now here? And there's a problem of this rook, of this queen developing. So, and with the rook, with the queen, sorry, this rook. So there were some other problems to be solved first, and yeah, and f4, f5 looked like a good way to just activate this rook without moving it. So yeah, no, it's not active enough. Now, well, black can really play queen e7 and just prepare the rook coming to d8. Very simple. Okay, can chase the knight also, but okay. If it's really bothering, but okay, I think it's not bothering yet. So well, just queen e7, and the rook is coming to d8, and all the pieces are perfectly placed. So black is better in this case. Just very good development again, and white cannot say the same. So yeah, I'm expecting queen e7. I think it was the point of her move bishop d6 to get the square for the queen. So yeah, now f4 loses much of it. Yeah, queen e7, very logical. f4 now loses some of its points because there's no rook behind to. So yeah, yeah, I prefer black position here. Yeah, what to do with white now? You still have your problems of developing, and not easy. Now f4 loses really much of its sting because yeah, 4 5 you could just have knight h4 for example, and you have a problem with this pawn and this pawn because look this one here. Yeah, so how to bother? Not sure. I'm not sure how really. I have to say. Bishop g5, but okay, it's not dangerous. Why? You just okay, you put a pin, but create a pin, but you cannot use it. So, and the pin can be like you don't even have to do it now with black, but you can remove it as soon as you want, like this, and knight g6, and the bishop cannot keep it. So. So I should exchange for the knight, but then okay, you lost many tempis with your bishop just to exchange it for a knight, or you draw back, but then bishop take, and then your castling position is corrupted. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, what did she play? Bishop f1. Okay, I thought yeah, might be the idea, but it looks very passive. But okay, position is still solid, and as we saw in the previous game, anything will happen. Looks. So, okay, I'm expecting obviously rook fd8. No? Just very sensible, logical move, and creating some problems for white. Because this queen doesn't have a really good square, I would say. After rook fd8, now it might go to e2. Yeah, maybe it's a square, but then okay, you just tell the bishop that it doesn't have any space. Okay, she didn't play rook fd8. Okay, play knight g6. Uh-huh. Obviously not bad. Just rook fd8 looked so tempting. Just bringing the last piece and on an open file, creating a pin. This looked so very tempting. Knight g6 is obviously not bad. Just wasn't forced. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like the knight is still sitting pretty on e5, no threats to it, protected by the bishop. So why you remove it when you don't have to? Also now you have to watch out. Well, not now, but still should always be careful about this. So, to do. I'm starting to. I was thinking about a weird move, something you shouldn't do usually in opening play against like undeveloped pieces. But I was thinking about the weird bishop c1. Justice has two ideas, but it's okay. Bishop e3, bishop a3, sorry, just to create problems here, and okay, create some ideas about of knight to f5 because now there's this pin on the e file. I thought briefly about this, but obviously I don't believe it can really be bothering after rook fd8. Then the knight is not so well protected as before because the bishop moved, and bishop a3 just met by queen e8, something like this. And you don't have knight d6 because the d6 square is too much covered. So suddenly you have a real problem with your knights because black is about to attack them like this or like this, I don't know. Yeah, so of course it loses a lot of time to do this maneuver and doesn't gain much. Well, okay, that was an idea. I wanted to use this queen. So what else? Yeah, it's hard to advise something for white. You should just find a place for the pieces, but so again, the problem pieces in this case, this is this knight. You don't know what to do with it, and the queen. So the rook is also has some problem in this case. But how to solve it? Queen e2, okay, yeah, queen e2 maybe. Queen e2, the problem is after you just improve a little bit one piece, but just to make it the bishop worse. So it's not like ideal. But I don't see how where you can put this one. Yeah, that's a difficult position for white already. I mean, from this moment, yeah, okay, knight c3. Like already b3, okay, it's okay. b3 is okay. Bishop d6, okay. Black just played sensible moves. And I remove this one. And yeah, now at least she should have tried knight d b5 and exchange queens and rook a. Suddenly you will feel like the queen problem is resolved, this rook problem is resolved. Okay, this knight, but it's not like such a problem. You can always come back to the center. So okay, it's just a game. That was the what white should have done. Sending the other knight, I think, was not so good. Knight cb5, bishop b8. I think I heard she played a move. Yeah, she plays queen e2. Okay. So rook e1, not too. It's not active enough, dynamic enough. Bishop f1. Okay, rook fd8 was my favorite move, but knight g6, and now queen e2. Okay. Yep. So at least she solves this problem, and probably maybe this one also when she will bring the rook here. But now another one appears. But okay, probably it's more important to solve the problem of the queen rather than the bishop. Yeah. Okay. So what should black do now? Always this question, a6 or not. In this moment, I don't want to do h6 personally because the knight on b5 is not scary at all, and you just put it back to c3, which is a better square actually, more controlling, more useful squares. So a6 doesn't look like something you should do immediately. At least you should keep it for better time. Rook f to d8 is a natural move enough. Yeah, probably white will follow with rook d1. Yeah. Okay, she played it. Okay. Probably there are other interesting tries, but okay, she played rook fd8. I guess white will put a rook on d1 or something. Yeah. Yeah, sensible. Rook 81. Okay. So now again, the same problem. How to continue with black? A6. Okay, same thing like before. Very possible, but okay, you just yeah, I don't see the real point if it's really useful or not. I'm not sure. E5. Okay, but you give the square F5 for the knight, so sorry. So maybe it's premature. Now, because now I've actually black's pieces looks like very well placed. So it's the moment you should try to do something with, yeah, when all your pieces are well placed. For white, it's not the same because this knight is still not so well placed and this bishop is not well placed. So when you put yourself in black's shoes and you think like, how can I improve my position? Usually in this moment, if your pieces are all on good squares, that's you cannot see any real way of improving one or another, then you should think about the pawns. Yeah, usually the pawns can create some new circumstances. Yeah, help you advance. So okay, there are no exchanges of pieces which particularly suits black, I would say. Moving like knight f4 is probably too early because we can just take, and the a7 point might drop. I will play this. Yeah, if you can just take and knight a7. So there's no point giving up a pawn. Yeah, you're just attacking the rook even. So oh, sorry, here, yeah. Maybe to insert a6 before then. What happens if you play a6? Knight c3 and knight f4 now. Does it bring anything special? I'm not sure. Well, maybe it's interesting at least. You force exchange. Take, take. And you get the bishop pair. So might be interesting. Then, as usual, when you are fighting with against the bishop pair, you should strive to exchange one of them. So one logical way I should see is g3. The bishop will drop back somewhere here, and bishop g2. And then white can exchange, it seems, one pair of bishops. So yeah, it's better to fight against bishop and knight against two knights rather than having just two bishops in front of you. So yeah, exchanging this f1 bishop was really stuck. So yeah, okay, you just weaken a little bit, but it doesn't look so serious. Yeah, bishop take, king takes, and even a check is nothing. You can just protect with the queen. So, yeah. Yeah, so maybe it's not so good actually for black because yeah, after knight f4, so we try knight f4 straight away just to push ahead. But then okay, it drops the a7 pawn, so it's not interesting. So just first you need to remove the knight and do this because the queen doesn't have a good square again. So bishop takes, but then okay, if you cannot keep your bishop pair, then it's not so useful. Okay. Oh, she played a move. Sorry, here. Okay, she played knight e4. Interesting. So the idea, I guess, is to take away the square of the knight, of the white knight. Yeah, the knight is on a good square. So this is interesting. Now she's threatening just this. a6, and this knight doesn't have this square available, so it's lost. So the point is white should focus his attention on this knight. Find a square for the knight. Okay, one way of doing this is just to remove the knight. Maybe here. At least if you're getting attacked, then you can go back here. Yeah, you see here it's the white pieces, they make a weird impression. They're all stuck in the same place, you know, like really that's walking on each other. So it doesn't look compared to the black ones, which are more harmoniously placed. So, yeah, this bishop is not good. Those knights, those two knights, they want the same square. They all want d4 square. So it's a kind of we call it superfluous knight. Sorry if my pronunciation of the word is not good. It's like two knights want the same square, so there's one useless one in the mix. Yeah. But how to save the piece otherwise? You just don't want to push the knight back because it creates a lot of weak squares, you know. And it buries this one even more. So knight e4 is very interesting move. And I don't see anything better than knight f3. You know, just for better or worse, I don't see anything better. So white is a little bit under pressure. Yeah, yeah. Knight f3 looks best. Yeah. So let's so far. Well, I don't wish her the same thing, but so far she's struggling. White is struggling again with this light squared bishop. I hope it's not like going to be like the light squared bishop of the first game. You know, like this one will find a role at some point, but this is the problem piece also. And the knight, obviously, now it's directly this knight. This bishop will have to find a job. Yeah. Oh, she played queen c2. I think knight f3 was yeah, and if a6. Okay, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, knight. Not this immediately because of knight c3, but yeah, you just exchange rooks first, and after you will go back with the knight, and okay, hope for the best. But queen c2, okay. Okay. So the knight, she wants this square for the knight. Oh. But yeah, it will run into problems because look, this rook is yeah, eyeing this queen will be difficult. So a6 looks quite logical, and then, well, now problems are getting stronger. Yeah, I think white's position is on the verge of losing. Knight c3, you have some idea suddenly with queen here maybe, and just threatens mate here. Yeah, she played knight c3, but then what does she? Oh, she played queen c7. Wow. Oh, I think white will have really big problems here. Oh, well played, queen c7. Suddenly changing direction, like you are looking at the queen side with your knight, and then suddenly, boom, the problem is on the other side. Okay, g3 or f4. Not so many choice. f4 drops the pawn, yeah, and f4. Do you take on c3 or? Yeah, let's take on c3 and knight takes f4, something like this. Yeah, it's just a pawn up and a yeah better position. So let's see g3 maybe. What does black do after g3? It looks very tempting to sacrifice, no? Just yeah, just very tempting. You have every piece on the just to checkmate. So bishop g2, and now can you add some more? You have queen h2 check. You have knight h4. I like. Oh, knight h4 looks fine. Wow. Ooh, knight h4 looks fine. How do you defend this? It's yeah, I think it's lost. It's just lost here. So maybe f4 is yeah, it's still better. Yeah, maybe f4 then, but yeah, it looks like black is on top for sure. Yeah. Yeah, you just take at least you just take the pawn, you know. Just uh, um, if you take immediately, you will have a problem probably with this. Yeah, with this knight. So you're losing, you're dropping something because it's just a check. Maybe here is just a check. So yeah. So but okay, you just take on c3 first. Very simple. And knight takes f4. And the problem is not just that you want a pawn with black, that you lost a pawn with white, sorry. It's just that the mating threats are still there, you know. The attack is still going on, so uh, what to do? I don't see any other way to defend against the mate. or the check on h2. Yeah, I don't know. Well, okay. Well, of course, knight f3 doesn't. I think you just take here. And the idea is that when you take back the piece, then you will take this one, and you cannot take back because it's mating. So knight f3 now, just knight takes knight, and this one will be exchanged, so this square will be available. So just drops a piece. So what to do? Knight f3 fails, of course. G3 fails, just sacrifice on G3. F4, well, maybe it's the most playable one. At least there's no direct win, and knight takes c3, and you just lose a pawn. Yeah, the least hassle. But yeah, things went wrong quite quickly for white here. I think compared to the previous game, she took a lot of hasty decisions. Uh, and in this moment, the position is very open compared to the previous. So the previous game, okay, she had a bad position after opening, but the position was closed. So yeah, there was no forced win and everything. Like it didn't go so quick. So after that, she played really well. She managed with f5 and all these moves to get back into the game very well. But uh, yeah, this time the nature of the position is more open. Obviously, there's no pawn in the center, so yeah, so things can go very quickly with open games. The rhythm of the position is very quick, very fast. So mm. So as you see here, okay, I'm not telling the game is over by far. But okay, black is definitely for choice, huh? But um, what went wrong with white is that it's again the solving of just the bad pieces. Once she put this wrong knight on b5 here. Yeah, once she put this wrong knight on b5, then she started to create problems for her. It was just about here in this position. Black had this queen, what's to solve the problem development of this queen to solve. She managed to successfully with moving the bishop, and then the queen came to e7. Very nice move, bishop d6. Um, and then it was white's turn to find a way to solve the problem of her queen. And then I think knight d5 was the way. Like in this moment, the good way to solve it was to exchange it. Um, yeah, because after knight b5, just attacking the bishop, but the bishop is a good square. And after it's too difficult. I mean, it's already a little bit awkward to just solve this problem. At least you should go f4. Like once you make a step forward, maybe you should go for it. But okay, rook e1 was you know, it's just like you make one step forward and then you make one still, backward almost. So it cannot go together. Yeah, f4 now lost its point. Bishop f1. Yeah, queen e2. Then there's another problem. Okay, so here we are. Knight e4 was well played, and now knight f3 was I think the last chance. Black is for choice, but okay. After queen c2, a6, knight c3, queen c7. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she will find something, but I don't see what for the moment. I just cannot see any good defense except f4, pawn to f4. This is my only choice. Oh, she played g3, okay. yeah, so wow, this is very tempting, right? Just sacrifice the knight on g3 is so tempting. You just need to see knight h4 after. Um, I mean, just to see, it's not like it's easy, but the line is pretty short actually. You just, okay, this is forced, otherwise you just take a pawn for nothing. With the check, this is very forced, okay, the king cannot move. You cannot put the queen, the bishop will take it, so this is forced, yeah. So, okay, just two moves each, forced move, and then you just need to see in this moment knight h4. Just attacking another time the piece, and then what to do. Game over. Still, yeah. I don't see any defense for white here. Because you're threatening the bishop, you are threatening sometimes some checks here also. Um, well, you have two pawns for the piece, so it's not like you just are a lot down in material. Yeah, so all your pieces are attacking. When you attack successfully, you just need to count the ratio between the uh, attacking pieces and defensive pieces. You know, when you have more pieces attacking than your opponent has pieces defending, then good sign. So here you have one, two, three, four attacking pieces. Well, I will count the rook. Five attacking pieces, and the defensive. Well, they're not so great actually. There's a bishop here, and well, that's about it. Yeah. So okay, definitely not five defending pieces. So yeah, you can be confident. Even yeah, just your intuition should tell you that yeah, okay, I have five attackers against just I don't know one, two, three. I don't know. I don't even see the three, but one or two defending piece. So I have two pawns for a piece. It's almost like almost the same. Uh, I can see I have very concrete threats. Like I'm threatening the bishop. I'm threatening some check. So should be okay, right? I mean, must be okay. Of course, if you can calculate more, then it's even better. But intuition should tell you that yeah, I should go for it. You know, shouldn't be no problem winning. Yeah, I don't see what can white do here? Um, no idea. Because you cannot protect with any rook, I think, if you just play rook here. Uh, yeah, just take on g2 with the knight or with the bishop. And then when your rook needs to take back, then this bishop will drop. Because the rook now, this rook she has to defend two pieces and it's too much. And if you move the other rook, then it's even worse, obviously, because this one is not protected. If you try to put your queen here, I think you just check, and you take that bishop with the I don't know. It just now you are even up material, so and maybe knight here. It's a defense. But in any case, you can, in the worst case, you can simplify and get back the piece with two pawns up. Sorry, yeah, you are two pawns up, a pair of bishop, a weak king. Okay, so I don't see any defense. If she sacrifices on g3, if she doesn't want to sacrifice, then are there other possibilities? Mm, well, you have to do something about this one anyway. It's attacked. So yeah, you cannot keep it here because f5 would drop something. Yeah, so this is not possible with the fork and the queen and a rook. So yeah, you need to do something. If you don't want to sacrifice it, you should move it because you cannot keep it here with the f5. So you don't want to go backwards. I mean, you're just attacking, so no point going backwards. So after this one, the other forcing move, checks, captures, and threats is this one. Okay, knight takes, queen takes, and now what? Um, hmm, so maybe e5. It's okay. It's probably very good, but just that the other sacrifice is so good. But I mean, this might be winning as well. Yeah, because the point now I don't see difference. Yeah. Once the knight will move, well, then you will put your queen here, and suddenly the problems now are here. Yeah. So yeah, this is winning as well. Black just wants to bring the queen to here and threaten mate along the long diagonal. Yeah. Yeah, actually, this is another win. Now I don't see any defense against this. So yeah, she has a good choice, right? Here, she can, after g3, which was, oh sorry, g3, which was played. Yeah, she can go both sides. Knight g3 or knight c3. One is winning. Well, knight g3 is not even risky because, as I said, you just get 2 pawns and you just only need to see knight h4, I think, and just realize that it's over. Um, Knight c3 and e5, and you just now that g3 has been forced, then the diagonal to mate is not this one, it's this one. Yeah, these two bishops, they remind me of a game a little bit of okay, the patterns are very different, but it's the very famous game of Akiba Rubinstein, a famous Polish grandmaster from, well, last century, beginning of last century. He was one of the best players in the world for a period, let's say from 1908, 1909, let's say, to 1912. Uh, he was winning every tournament. He was very, very strong. He had a very, very clear, crystal clear style, logical style. So, unfortunately, he was like scheduled. I'm not sure, but okay, the public wanted to see him meet the world champion of the time, Emmanuel Lasker, in 19 probably 13, 14, probably 14, but they had problems to get some enough money for the match. So, but anyway, 1914, okay, First World War appeared, started, and yeah, so the matches were obviously postponed. And after the war, 1918, 19, okay, Rubinstein was not the same anymore. He suffered mentally from the war, so he never had a chance anymore. But yeah, he was a fantastic player, and his games are like very, very instructive. Usually I will annoy all my students with the games of Rubinstein because well, it's just very model games, like so many model games. Like yeah, it's very clear and very logical and everything. So yeah, it's very, very instructive. And of course, he was very, very strong in end games also. So his rook end games in particular are still fantastic even today. Even by modern standards, they are like perfect. There are plenty, even pawn end games. Well, his technique was very, very good. Um, and he had this fantastic game that he called his immortal game. And it was a game where he had this two bishop like this, and okay, the queen was going to h4, and it's against a player named Rotliwi or something like this. Sorry, it's a Polish name, so Rotliwi, Rotlewi, and yeah, it was just fantastic game. He sacrificed everything to get a mate, but fantastic combination. So this one. You have to know this one. So if you haven't seen it, just go and check. And any game by Rubinstein is fantastically instructive. So yeah, he had a flow. Obviously, in his game is that sometimes he was bound to miss a tactic at some point. You know, was so into his strategic plans and positional play that sometimes tactic would he would fail tactically, or like it would take too much time. He was not such a good practical player at times. And the dynamics and the dynamic side of the game, he was very strong, obviously, but not so strong like Alekhine, for example. Alekhine had a very, very good understanding of the dynamic side of the game. So Alekhine was always a very awkward opponent for Rubinstein. But yeah, okay. They're the two fantastic players, obviously. So yeah, when I see those two bishops and all those combinations like this, that just brought me to because the rooks of Rubinstein were also located the same way. So it's funny how just the queen is on h4 and there's a knight on g4. I think in the more modern time there was a game Aronian against Anand from Vaikanze, just like 5-6 years ago, where Anand created a very similar type of combination as Rubinstein did. So yeah, this game you should maybe check also. Um, Definitely some patterns to remember, and also yeah, just culture, just chess culture. But yeah, again, I just uh, I just couldn't advise more people to check, to analyze, to work on the games of the past champions as well. And never forget that these players were very strong and their games are very instructive. There were no computer at the time. Still, they were playing fantastic. Oh, she played knight g3. Okay, she goes for it. Nice. Yeah, I think that's yeah, should that should do it for her. Because even white doesn't accept the knight sacrifice, and okay, the castling position is broken, so won't last long with such two bishops and the queen. What to do? The king is just all alone there. Yeah, knight takes z3. Okay, nice move. Yeah, I don't see any way even to refuse the sacrifice. And what's another playable move? I don't know. You cannot even play a move like f4 because knight takes f4. Okay, yeah, she accepted it. What to do? queen takes, yeah. So bishop g2, I think it's forced. I guess it will be played. I don't see any other move except giving the queen, but yeah. So bishop g2 and then knight f4 looks like devastating. So I'm expecting that she will play knight h4. Maybe there are other moves actually. I didn't even check if there are other moves. I just calculated knight h4, but it looks so tempting. Yeah, probably there is. Yeah, actually, I don't see any other moves so far. So really good tempting moves. No, knight h4 I think is the by far the best as far as I can see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see any other attractive move like knight h4. So yeah. Yeah, just knight h4. Okay. I have nothing better to offer. Yeah, so it's a hard game for white, right? I think she just both players were probably very tired about with their first game, which lasted a long time, and okay, some nervousness. In the end, lots of ups and downs. So just yeah, a little break in between, but not enough to really recover. So this game, I felt like they both played very fast. The beginning, um, yeah, maybe just tiredness because yeah, they played also yesterday. So and this type of elimination system is always a little bit more stressful. And what makes it interesting also. The public likes this elimination, system, but yeah, for the players it's a little bit more stressful, obviously. Yeah, so she played knight h4, yeah. Yeah, so I don't see how white can survive this now. Yeah, I don't see. Well, we already checked the possible defense. I checked knight e4 doesn't work. Queen f2 doesn't work. Moving any rook doesn't work. That's all we checked. Knight e4, yeah. Well, at least it's just two pawns, but maybe there's more even. Yeah, I just looked at the queen takes d2 and you have two pawns, but maybe there's more. Probably there is more. Uh, what if I check here? There's something. Um, no, maybe checking here doesn't change so much. Of course, you don't go here because it's mate. But you come here. Okay, you can always take on g2 and simplify and take the bishop, then the knight, and you have two pawns up. This is, of course, no problem. Um, yeah, no, it's not so obvious. What else to do? I don't see another way than exchanging on g2, but it's obviously very good. Yeah, I mean, just very simple and very strong. So why bother? Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is a tough one for white. Maybe she saw the knight db5 that she should have played before and exchanging the queens. Maybe she saw this and just didn't feel like exchanging queens, like yeah, fearing that yeah, the winning chances would be less. But I think it's another world champion is the Tigran Petrosyan. He was a world champion in the 60s, and he once said to there was one of his students, I think, who needed to win the last game of a tournament to make a prize or to earn a nice place. And the students, he decided to play some offbeat line, but dubious line, not so good. And so he had okay, he wanted to surprise the opponent with some dubious play, like tricky but dubious. So the problem is he ended up with a bad position, like not losing, but worse position, and in the end he couldn't win. Obviously, he just lost the game. And okay, and because he was afraid of equal positions, he thought, yeah, if I play something normal, my opponent he was solid, so he will have equal position. And Petrosian told the student, like, what do you think? What is easier to do? To try to win from a worse position, or to try to win from an equal position? Yeah, and of course it's easier to try to do something from an equal position. Yeah, so even you need to win, you should play what the position asks you to play. Yeah, yeah, it's equal. Equal doesn't mean draw. So yeah, but psychologically, yeah, okay, we all made this mistake. Yeah, sometimes. So I don't know. Maybe it's this. Yeah. Maybe if that was the first game of the match, he would have gone knight d5. Uh, yeah, she thought she had to try something sharper to win. Maybe. But yeah, on her part, Black so far played a very good game. Really, nothing to say about Black's play in this game. They're very good. She just successfully solved all the problems of development in opening, and yeah, she just found the tactics right. She pressed on c4. She played on the knight on b5. She centralized the rook. She played on the knight on b5 with knight e4. Yeah, and then after suddenly she switched queen c7. She was very alert to the tactical possibilities. And yeah, and in the end, knight takes g3, also sacrificing. The play of Black was very, very good. So far, it's very, very good. No, I really don't see any difference. I'm trying to look for something, but I don't see anything. Um, hmm. Hope I'm not missing anything obvious. Um, Here it's just 8 in the morning here, so like now I can see some daylight and the people going out, but I might be missing something obvious. I don't know, but just trying my best. I feel like there should be no defense, even what I told you is just like counting the pieces, attacking pieces and defending pieces. Logically, should be no defense for white in this position. So, uh, yeah, queen. Well, no, I don't see any defense here, really. And if we go back some moves earlier, yeah, queen c2 was the decisive. Let's say, okay, black is on top already, but yeah, queen c2 looks like the big mistake, the last mistake, really. Like now she should play knight f3. Should play knight f3. You see that this knight, yeah, at least it's controlling the square h2, so it's very important. And after a6, then yeah, you don't drop the knight immediately back because then there's a annoying fork here. You don't want that, so you should just exchange before rook takes, and no matter what, how they take, queen takes or rook takes, well, I don't know, but then now you can come back to d4, and okay, of course black is better, that's for sure. Even she tries to do something like this, I don't know. But at least it's defensible still. There's nothing hanging. It's not. But this bishop is just terrible. But at least maybe g3. You can try g3 and bishop d2. I don't know. Something like this. At least the game goes on. Yeah. I think here. And if knight f3, what happens if there's exchange here first? The thing is, then if you exchange first, rook, and now a6. Now you have a problem because once the knight moves, you have again this fork. But I think queen takes. Yeah, and the knight can drop back here. Rook d8, then you can go queen c2. I don't know, something like this. But at least you can drop your knight here or here. Looks like it doesn't lose material there. So yeah, I think knight f3 was really the last moment. Yeah, last chance. Queen c2. Queen c2. The problem is yeah, you just okay, just even you don't want that, but you don't want to put the queen here. But okay, the problem is everywhere, so position is already beyond salvation. Maybe f4 was kind of the best try, but okay, it's lost in the long run. Yeah, you just drop a pawn and the attack continues. So after knight takes c3, knight takes knight for first because it's hanging, and yeah, I think knight takes f4. Might be other ways, but already very simple way here. Yeah, just great advantage to black. Material and position. Yeah, and d3, you had several ways even. Knight takes d3 followed by e5 looks winning again also, but knight g3, of course, it's nicer. Pawn takes, queen takes, everything falls. Bishop d2, knight h4. And I think there's still more moves from white here, but not sure she can find one here. Yeah, two very different games. Yeah, first one very blocked and maneuvering everywhere. This one was very open and straightforward. Like you could feel from the start that the players didn't want to repeat a long game like in the morning. They just played very fast in the opening, and then yeah, after just put the pieces to go for confrontation and direct confrontation. Uh, no, I really don't see anything. Okay, so just need to wait for white to move. Oh, she didn't play yet. Yeah, so you see in a blocked position, the more important is not so much that you develop your pieces very fast. It's more like the quality development of your piece. Like it's important that your pieces are on good squares, really. Even if it takes two moves to get there instead of one, you can have an average square. Quality squares are more placements is more important. In open position, you need to go fast. Yeah, you cannot afford to have problems with some pieces. Uh, yeah, you need to solve the problems immediately. Like, uh, no, sorry, here. Yeah. Everything should act accordingly. Um, Here, things are going faster, so you need to act faster. So in this respect, um, okay, knight db5 was a. Once you go there, yeah, you need to do something active. Situation will go faster. Yeah, you see the it's very open. So f4 was maybe. I don't think it creates anything very terrible. Okay, it gives more chances for white to mix it up. You know, but black is perfectly fine. Obviously. Yeah, rook e1 really doesn't fit with the play for white. It's just almost like you pass. You know. And you cannot afford it in this position. Uh, so bishop, sorry, bishop f1. Okay, and after, yeah, queen e2. But already it's awkward to play. It's not easy to play for white. Knight e4 is very good move. Yeah, centralizing the knight. Yeah, first I thought also about some moves like because in this moment you need to go to do something with black. You know, it's like you have two types of advantages in chess. You have the long-term advantages and the short-term advantages. Like you could some would say static advantages and dynamic one. Uh, for example, if you have a better pawn structure, then it's a long-term advantage. So you don't need to hurry if you are on the side with a better pawn structure. You just exchange the right pieces, keep the game slow if possible. You know, like kill the dynamic side of the other one position, of the opponent's position, and just rely that the future is bright for you. Otherwise, if you have, for example, like here, advantage in development and like placing of the placement of your pieces, if you just place two or three soft moves, like I don't know, h6 or some random moves, then white will reorganize knight f3, knight bd4. They will find g3, bishop g2. I mean, they will find they need two or three moves to just reorganize a little bit better, and your advantage will disappear slowly. Um, like the first world champion Wilhelm Steinitz, he said, the player with the dynamic advantage must, he didn't say should, he said must uh, attack immediately. He must use this advantage immediately. He shouldn't wait for it. Otherwise, he will just lose this advantage. So, yeah, in these circumstances, knight e4 is well played. In this moment, I mean, black must be looking for something to um, go forward, improve. So, not just sit and wait and slide and just slowly improve the position. I don't know, like rook. I will play rook d7, rook cd8 to double rooks on the d5. This is too slow. So knight e4 is a very good way because you go forward with the knight, centralizing the knight, and then you create a threat on a6. So it's a very good move. Um, Yeah, a6 immediately I thought, okay, knight c3. Knight f4 I looked at, but it's not too convincing, as I said, because yeah, after a6, knight c3, knight f4, you just don't gain the bishop pair because it takes on g3 and bishop g2, and there's no bishop pair anymore. and the bishop f1's problem is solved. So after that, I had another idea, but okay, once she played knight e4, it was just a good move. So I just thought like something like h5. The idea, usually you don't play with your pawns in a castle position like this, but okay. The idea is just to go forward h4. It's very well protected by this knight, and I had this idea, just seeing the last variation, that white, in this variation, they want to play g3 and exchange his bishop on g2. So with my pawn on h4, I just prevent this kind of prevent this g3, or at least if they want to push g3, then I will play h4 nevertheless, and they will create some weakening, like they cannot take, because knight takes, and of course this is terrible, the knight coming, and g4 will create, well, like now another strong diagonal. This is all very weak, so yeah, I had this idea of getting h5 first, just because I suddenly realized that g3 is an option to solve the problem of this bishop. Yeah, g3, bishop g2. You want to exchange it because obviously this bishop is much better than this one. Yeah. So again, one way of improving the position in this moment is to, well, just check the forcing moves. Yeah. So knight e4 is a kind of is part of the forcing moves because it creates an immediate threat, a6, winning the knight. Oh, sorry. Knight f4 was another forcing move. You just attack the queen. Okay. A6 is another one, but then the question is, okay, you just push the knight back to maybe a more useful square, so it keeps the central squares. Yeah, and then you see, then another way of thinking is, what does my opponent want? This bishop on f1 is really stuck, so g3, bishop g2 is an idea. If you want to exchange this bishop, so my super active bishop for a very passive bishop. So then, okay, h5, h4, you just, oh, sorry, you just not prevent g3, but make it more difficult. So yeah, but knight e4, okay, once I saw knight e4, she played knight e4, it's very good. It's not even weakening the king side in any way, and it's just very strong. No need to check further after that. Yeah, queen c2, so yeah, mistake. And now I think it's still knight h4. I think it's still there, right? Yeah, it's still there. Well, basically, chess is like there was again player Dr. Sigbert Tarash. I talked about him this morning. One of the best players in the world in early 20th century. He said chess is like music in a way that it makes people happy. Like the chess game makes chess players happy. It can make them happy in the same way like music can. Okay, it's his opinion, but in some ways I see another like something similar. Chess and music is that there's various rhythm in the game, depending on the type of advantage or disadvantage that you have. If it's long term, you should hurry. You should play dynamic. If it's like here, advancing better development, something, then you should play dynamic. If on the other hand, you have if you have long term, then you should not play dynamic. If you have long term advantage, then you should not hurry and kill the dynamic part of the opponent's position. And on the one side, if it's short-term advantages, then of course you should hurry. So yeah, the game, you should every time reassess your advantages and then decide if you must hurry or if you have time to play more slowly. And sometimes it's very difficult to do. Okay, so she played knight e4. Okay, I think it's the best the best try still. Yeah, she found the best move. Then she will have 2 pawns. She will be 2 pawns down, I guess, in the ending. But yeah, the other ones she was getting mated, so almost. So I'm expecting, oh, I don't know, a check on h2 first, or taking on g2, taking the bishop with the, I don't know, with the knight, or one of these three moves, queen h2, and in any case you should take bishop, and then take the knight on e4 next. I'm expecting. Yeah. I don't think there is anything more than this. Okay, yeah, she took on g2 immediately, so yeah, that's a good way. Good. So queen takes will be played. I guess knight takes queen will be played. And you have to take back the knight because it's attacking a bunch of pieces. So. Yeah, king takes knight should be played, I guess. I don't see any other way to play. Yeah, and after king takes, bishop takes, well, what to do? You play queen, king f2, but there's not so much you can do with white. And just wait and hope for a blunder on the opponent's part. There's still some technical play involved, but yeah, it's too, well, it's nice pawns to have. But I'm pretty sure she will keep on fighting, and she should. Might have some threats here, like bishop g5, I don't know. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, so still some tricks available. I mean, should keep on fighting. So this is even you when you're like black and your game is kind of technically winning. Well, winning doesn't mean anything. I hear a lot of players like say, "Oh, I was winning and okay, my opponent was lucky I missed this one. No. Winning for Carlsen doesn't mean the same like winning for me. It's not the same thing. One thing I can, when I would say I was winning, is like it's a position I can win against anyone. Like even if it's Kasparov or Carlsen in front of me, I'll say, yeah, I'm 100% sure I will win. Otherwise, it's not a winning position. Uh, a lot of people, they still say like I was winning because they were pawn up or because suddenly computer shows them that they have a 10 move mate, which was anything but obvious. And it's, oh, well, I had a mate. Yeah, but it's not a mate you're unlikely to find. So, okay, in this moment, the worst thing to do is to relax and think like the game is already, the job is done. Yeah, so you should really keep the same level of concentration as before and try to play the best game, the best move, sorry. Um, a mark of the great players is that their concentration uh, like keeps the same level or even. So for some champions, it was said to be even they're even more careful when they have an advantage or winning position. They're just looking for the faster kill, you know. Just, like yeah, they won't like let you go anywhere. And especially now, you know, those players, the level of I would say one of the differences between the old times of chess and now is the level of defense. Now players are just defending anything like wow, incredibly well. You know, they're incredibly tenacious. They yeah, because it's the influence of computer. Just yeah, now the generation of today, they grew up with computers, playing with computer, analyzing with computers. So they just the same. Like they often see that computers can defend any position. Like I don't know. I think everybody tried at least sometimes. Like you have a big advantage. Positions say have big advantage to you, and still when you play few moves against the computer, then already the evaluation changes. So yeah, the level of defense is very good now. So at the top level, even you have a big advantage, you need to be really, really precise to convert it. So yeah, the level of concentration has to be very high all the game. This is of course an obvious advice, like of course we should concentrate until the end, but most and very too often we don't. Yeah, we just relax and say like, okay, the most difficult part is done. Now only needs to play a little bit well, and it's okay. Sometimes no, it's not enough. So here for black, well, I think she keeps her concentration, but yeah, really, this is what she should do. Like the game is still far from over. Just 2 pawns up, pair of bishops. But obviously things are going very well, but they're still far from over. So I don't know now. Just maybe remove the bishop from e4 is a way. Just avoiding any trick against this bishop. Like I said, maybe there's some bishop g5, which would um, attack this one and this one. I don't know, something like this. Uh, yeah, maybe bishop b7. Just very simple. When you have a potentially hanging piece or something, yeah, just solve the problem immediately. It's just not worth waiting. Even now it's well now bishop g5 maybe, but even if there was no bishop g5, then why not solve it immediately? Because every move you will need to check. So just make life simpler for you. Yeah, maybe I would go bishop b7 simply first, and after we'll see. Maybe bishop b7. Um, I don't know what white can do, but slowly I will just advance my pawns. Yeah. Maybe white can try to press a little bit on this one. Don't believe it really, but I don't know. Knight f3 or something. Well, it's it's easy to protect. Yeah. Okay, if you are white here, besides relying on tricks like yeah, bishop g5 now or something like this, then only chance to try to make a draw is maybe to exchange like the rooks and the knight for this bishop and to get into an opposite colored bishop endgame. Well, I'm not sure we'll make a draw, but because there's still a lot of pawns, but still, yeah, the opposite colored bishops are known for two things. In the endgame, it will increase the the percentage of the chances of draw. Yeah, it's a drawing factor. Opposite colored bishop. It's very simple. Why? It's like even you have one or two pawns up sometimes with one side, the other can put a blockade on the one square. For example, here, if you just exchange, I don't know. So let's say, how can it be exchanged? I'm not even sure. Uh, yeah, it's hard to exchange everything. Okay, maybe black can play bishop e5, for example. I don't know. Just trying to get the. Mm, okay, it's very stupid. But just to show something here. Um, here. Okay, here, and then everything is exchanged. Okay. Okay, say you don't drop the pawn because it would be stupid. But yeah, in this moment, black can try to, for example, put the pawns on squares, try to organize a kind of blockade on the dark squares when the pawns advance, like this one will go here, and then try to blockade them on the dark squares because they have this bishop more to control dark squares. So this bishop is useless on dark squares. I think here it's not possible to hold it. Okay, you can get this one, but if you don't get it, then also this one's quite weak, the bishop. But okay, hold on. But at least your chances increase, so that's what you want. You don't want to. You cannot have a false draw. You can just increase your chances of holding it. Um, Also, the sequence is not very likely. So the opposite colored bishops, yeah, in endgames is a drawing factor, but opposite in the middle game position, then this is a promise for really double-edged play because same thing, one side is stronger on one color and the other side on the other color. So it depends when you have this middle game position with heavy pieces like queen, rooks, and then the side who has advantage is the one who has the initiative. That's the attack. But then he will probably, if one side has the initiative, then usually he will have a strong initiative because he can attack on one square on one color with one more piece. So it's make it very dangerous. So yeah, in opposite colored bishops in middle games is usually something which will favor the attacking side, but favor heavily the attacking side. And on the other hand, opposite colored bishop in endgames increases the level of draw because you have all this blockade stuff on one color. So here I would say this is one maybe possibility for white to look for, but it's very far. So, yeah. Oh, black played bishop b7. Yeah, I like this move. Just very simple. Yeah, just avoiding any surprise. Now it's up to white to find something. Black, of course, okay. Just the only scenario you want to avoid maybe is those opposite colored bishops. Maybe, but because even rook endgames they are won, so should be easily winning. You have such a pawn majority here. It's 4 against 1. So what can you do? Rook's endgames are lost. Same colored bishop endgames are lost because usually, except if white doesn't get another pawn, of course. They're lost because, well, just 2 pawns down. So the same colored bishop there, there's no drawing factor. Uh, yeah. Black just wants to avoid this opposite colored bishops, and if possible, okay, they just want to keep the bishop pair because bishop pair is very strong. You know, when there are pawns on both sides of the board, bishop is stronger than the knight because it just can go very much faster from one wing to another, you know, one side to another. So uh, here there are pawns on queen side and king side, so bishops are stronger. But the rooks can be exchanged for black. It's perfectly okay. I would say even you're looking for exchanging the rooks because it will just reduce the potential counterplay of the opponent. Now there are no counterplay, but okay. You just, yeah. In this position, you just want to avoid any counterplay of the opponent. That's why bishop b7 is a good way because you don't allow any tricks. Don't want to allow tricks. When you are in an advantageous position, like having some material ahead or something, that's, yeah, just one important thing to remember is also to prevent as much as possible any counterplay from your opponent. It's just as important as increasing your advantage or, you know, transforming your advantage. It just opponent shouldn't have any counterplay. When you play against a real strong player like grandmasters, and always struck me that once they got a grip on you, they got an advantage. They just don't let you move. You know, they just, yeah. Even if there's one line that the computer will favor, and their move, the move third line, like which is like less good according to computer, but in this position, with this move, the opponent has no counterplay. The grandmasters will usually favor this one. It just makes life easier. Yeah. So no counterplay for the opponent. Oh no, I thought there were no moves played. Yeah, I don't know what to advise for white here. Yeah, just this one could be. It's not even a weakness because you can hold it very easily. So to do. Um, no, I don't see anything here. Just need to wait, play some move and wait. Hope for the opponent to make mistake. The problem is if I understand well that a draw would suit also the play with the black pieces. So I mean, to draw this is already very, very, very hard and very unlikely. But to win this, yeah, okay. She plays knight at 3. Yep, with knight at 3, just creating an attack here. Sensible. Okay. Bishop c7 looks kind of normal move. Yeah, and then after bishop c7, you will prepare exchanging rooks, for example. So what we said, why not exchanging rooks? It will just you stay with your bishop pair and pawns up. It's just easy. Oh, she takes the knight on it. Sorry. Don't think it's why. Why she does this? Or does it win something? Or I don't get it. Uh-huh. So why? Yeah, I don't know why she suddenly is exchanged her bishop like this. Of course, it doesn't spoil anything, but no, why? Why give your bishop? Okay, so oh, white exchange. Sorry, white exchange rooks before. Okay, which is weird. Okay, I guess she will take back the bishop. I don't see. But I don't see why this all these exchanges. Well, I mean it's perfectly fine, obviously for black, yeah, because then she removes any possibility of opposite colored bishops. So now she plays bishop c7, I think, yeah, just okay. So she thinks like it's very safe. She doesn't even allow the trick. Just like the bishop pair was strong, so you know, I sometimes have problems giving up my bishop pair. Well, maybe it's just my personal problem. Uh, but yeah, okay, this is quite safe also. So now, okay, she is ready to just push the pawns. I don't know, f5, king f7. The king should play also. The king should participate. On the other hand, for white, yeah, you just try to organize something here. After all, you have a majority. I don't know how you can make use of it, but you should try. I don't know, maybe b4, c5, or I don't know. Yeah, you should try to create a pass pawn something at least, because yeah, if you just wait, you will get pushed by the black pawns on this side, the king side. So yeah, black's plan is very obvious. But sorry, this is a little bit too far. f5, king f7, and just slowly pushing maybe g6 and e5. I don't know, something like this. You just push the pawns, go with the king, and come with your king. And this rook controls the files, open files, so no risk of counterplay whatsoever. Yeah, it will be hard for white to do anything about this. Rook e2, okay. I don't know why. Yeah, f5, of course. Yeah, just pushing the pawns, yeah. Passed pawns must be pushed. That's the rule. Well, generally speaking, when you have an advantage in material, you should look for piece exchanges, exchanging pieces. Um, whereas when you have your material down in material, sorry, you should look for exchanging pawns. This is the rule. Yeah, I mean, of course, when you are up in material, you shouldn't beg for exchanges. You just don't mind exchanges. Yeah, it's just you should continue. The first rule is to continue playing chess normally. Yeah, you're just not going to beg for any exchange, but you don't mind them, obviously, piece exchanges. But yeah, when the weaker side down in material should try to in this place exchange pawns. Yeah. Imagine an example where on one side he has a bishop and two pawns, and the other side has just two pawns. Yeah. Well, if the weaker side manages to exchange all the pawns, then king and bishop won't win. It's a draw. So okay, so you get the idea. Um, yeah. So some moves have been played: h4 and king f7. Okay, sensibly, king is taking part now. I think she should really try to push her pawns here. What to do? It won't bring anywhere, maybe, but okay, what to do? Just, I don't know, organize something like b4, a4, b5, something like this, and then try to push c5 after, and what to do? We just fight. Okay, h5, d3. Okay. Yeah, not too much that I can recommend. Um, well, okay, the obvious threat is f4, winning the bishop, so black's king should move, king f2 or something. Yeah, king f2, I guess. Let's see. Or king g2. things we didn't play. Yeah, king g2. Yeah. But yeah, just f4. What to do? And then if you just move your bishop, then I don't know where f3 is coming. So after f4, you need to play rook d2, I guess. Is the only way not to lose material. Because if rook takes, at least you have this check. And you take the the bishop back, but okay, yeah. Even this is lost, but okay, you don't need to do this, of course, after rook d2. The same rule as always, you just exchange rooks. Yeah, and I think it's much more practical. Yeah, bishop d2 and I don't know, king f6 and what to do. Why you should select this one is because in the other one, I mean, provided you play f4, you know, because if you do this, at least the white rook is more active, so it can threaten those pawns. There will be more concerns, more things to look at, uh, after. So, yeah, this one you just exchange the rooks, and okay, this bishop is no big threat. So easily winning. Yeah, she plays f4, and I'm pretty sure after rook d2 she will exchange rooks. Just choose the one which gives the opponent less counterplay. It will be easier to handle. Maybe computer says like, I don't know, you take the bishop and the rook endgames, I don't know. But this one, pretty sure you will win like with no accidents. It will happen. There are no tricks. There's nothing to worry about. So yeah. Oh, she plays bishop f2. Oh, okay. So I think it's over now. Yeah. Okay. She allowed f3. This is lost, obviously. Yeah. Okay. So overall, a good game from Black. The second game was good. The first one was as unusual as it was interesting. Both sides are really had their chances. This one, I would say Black. Yeah, player with black pieces. You played a good game, really. Yeah. So I think White just resigns, and yeah. So well-deserved victory in this game for Black. Really, nothing to say. So congratulations on the player with the black pieces. I think it means that she has won the tournament, second Kaohsiung tournament. Congratulations on her. Congratulations on both the players because they both reached the finals. I would like to thank again Ms. Gao and all the organization team from Kaohsiung, which made this possible. And I hope you enjoyed my commentaries. I had a very fun time doing it. I hope you found it instructive. And hopefully, well, we can do this again. So thanks to you, thanks to everybody, and see you. Bye.